Welcome in to episode 17 of our Let's Play Humankind series. We are approaching the end of the medieval era. We're playing as the Franks. We're going to start going through some pretty strategic things here. We're going to start turning in our scriptorium, so I'll show you how that strategy works. And what I want to do right off the top here is talk about one of the bigger changes that came through with the expansion as part of the free update for Humankind from Amplitude, and that is the changes to free people. So we're going to launch by talking about that, and we're going to execute a couple of new strategies with the free peoples in one of the continents that we're heading towards. So we'll talk about that. I'm very excited to get into the episodes. We're going to get into gameplay. If you would like to catch up on the entire series, make sure you jump down into the description below and click on the link. That is the link to the very first episode in the series. We are here at episode 17. So if you want to catch up on the whole story of this game, all of the tips, strategies, and things that we've talked about, feel free to do so. If you like the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. And as always, because this is a 4X game and it's just come out with a brand new expansion and we're learning all of the new mechanics, be sure to leave comments if you have thoughts about strategies, tips, other things that players could benefit from. Happy to kind of let's incorporate those all into the comment section here on the YouTube video. Let's jump right in to the gameplay. Okay, so here we are. This is over on a continent that we have not settled on, right? So we're over here. We've settled on this continent. The New World is right here. And then this is a continent that we are pretty far away from. However, we have armies in the water over here that are maneuvering their way this direction. There was a Free Peoples here that went into decline. So if you didn't know it, Free Peoples in Humankind, after a certain number of turns, go into decline. So you can see where their districts used to be. Immediately, they were replaced by another Free Peoples. So that will happen as well sometimes. So if we look here on Thiang, Thiang has right here 41 turns until they go into decline. So that's they're sticking around for a while, right? But each Free Peoples does have kind of a lifespan because they don't expand. Basically, they rise up and then they just kind of drop off and disappear after a certain amount of time, just to free up that land and keep things moving. So let's take a look at some of the new things going on with the Free Peoples. So here is Thiang. And rather than what you could usually do is just start pouring money or influence into them to start the assimilation process, gain different treaties automatically with them, it's a much more robust system now, and I think it's a really, really excellent change. So, number one, you still have kinship, so they are a liberty-focused and a collectivism-focused free peoples, and so we happen to be very far along those axis lines too, and so we have high kinship with them. That makes it, what I've seen, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, what I've seen is that makes it cheaper to make treaties with them and interact with them. So if we go over here to treaties, we have to establish a contact treaty before we can start to bribe them now, okay? Normally you could just start bribing them right away. Now we have to do a few steps first. So we could go to treaties, and for 100 influence, we can establish contact with this Free Peoples, okay? And that will then get us access to different treaties. So we can get a trade charter, a mercenary charter, or a science collaboration. These are all pretty dang useful. It's much, much more useful if you're not planning on assimilating a Free Peoples. It is now very useful to pour some money or influence into these treaties because look at this, 115 science? Yes, please. That's huge. So when you're looking at Free Peoples, even if they're not necessarily on your continent or they're not really one that you'd want to assimilate, you can actually go through and get some really beneficial things from them through the treaty system now. Privileged contract if you want to rent their armies, profit sharing if you just want money from them, and then at the very end, rather than just assimilation, you now have two options. If you're like, I don't really need another city, in fact, that puts me over city cap or whatever, you can make them into a client state. The client state gets you all of these huge benefits, right? You get plus 50 international sway on your empire. That has to do with the Congress, which I haven't actually experienced yet, so I'm excited to see that at some point. +1 influence for your ideological position. You get influence, money, you get negative costs. So all of the treaties, basically, you get all of them. essentially, if you make them a client state, which is like, it's really great. Like, this is fantastic if you don't want to assimilate them. And then, of course, you could just assimilate them and bring them into your control. So that's pretty dang cool. So here's what I'm thinking. We were planning on coming up and assimilating one of these cities and then attacking and destroying the rest with our armies to try to collect military stars. This one is going to form. It's going to be relatively new, and it's not going to have very much population. Thang has 41 turns. Tewanaku has 42 turns, but they are already at 3 population. Here's what I'm thinking. I think that it would be beneficial to establish a treaty with Tewanaku and move towards assimilation here, because their population is more than likely going to be higher here than the population in Thang. So Thang, we can then come into Thang, we will wage war here and these 2 places, take them over, place our own outpost down, and connect it to our city here, which is the one we assimilate. So that's kind of my plan on this continent now. So what that means is we're going to click here on Tewanaku, and we want to establish a treaty with them. So we are going to do the established contract. You'll notice our kinship, again, is very high. In fact, I'd like to actually test something, so give me a moment. There's another... Oh, that Free Peoples is not established yet. Okay, this one is. Let's check out Hunza. Hunza, nah, we have 100% kinship as well. Okay, I was hoping to find one that we didn't have 100% kinship with, so I could test my theory of whether stuff was cheaper or not, but we have full kinship with all of them currently. Okay, so we're going to go to treaties. We're going to establish contact. It's 100 influence, so yet another reason why influence early game, monstrously important. However, now, with some of these late occurring Free Peoples, it makes influence a little bit more beneficial in the later to mid game as well, but another early thing to spend influence on, reiterating the importance of it. So let's establish contact.
You've signed your first treaty with an independent people.
Okay. Now,
one more step on the road to cooperation.
Now, these are locked until we get to certain levels, right? So we have to get our patronage status up. How do we get our patronage status up? We come back over here just like we normally would, except it functions a little bit differently. So now, instead of some large lump sum, like here's 1,000 gold, and now I'm going to get 6 patronage per turn from you for the next little while, now there's just a per turn money or influence cost to be able to do this. And so we can put in 9 money at the entry level here, or we can go all the way up to 36 money per turn to be bribing them pretty heavily in order to gain that patronage. So I'm going to go probably actually, because remember, we have an excess of influence at this point. It's rare to have that at this point in the game. Normally you're spending a ton of influence, but we had that estate ability, and again, they nerfed it. They nerfed it hard with this latest patch, but we actually had enacted that beforehand, and so we've got excess influence. So we're actually going to go with influence. We're going to go patronage with influence. We're going to pay 24 per turn, and that is going to get us a nice influence bonus to be able to do it. Now, here's the other thing. You can actually do both if you want to get up as quickly as possible. We kind of do. So I think what I'm going to do is actually put both of these in. So we can go 36 gold per turn, and we can do 24 influence per turn and get our patronage up as quickly as we possibly can with this particular city-state, so that we can move towards assimilation, because we want this to be kind of our base of operations for the war that we're going to wage against these other 2 city-states. So those changes, though, are super interesting. I really like the involvement of the Free Peoples now. They're much more viable. You're not just going to assimilate them every time, and you actually have to strategize kind of spending your influence to get the treaties, which treaties are going to be most beneficial for you. It's very similar, in my mind, to the embassy changes. We don't have embassies in this game because it was an old save file, but the embassies do a very similar thing, but with the actual players in the game. So not the Free Peoples, but there's different embassy treaties that you can sign that get you pretty decent bonuses outside of just your normal trade agreements and the different treaties that you could sign that are all still there as well. But I really like this update and the changes. So the changes to the Free Peoples, very, very good. I really like it. So we're going to utilize that throughout this game today. So let's go ahead and make our move. We are currently burning this down, remember? We have 2 turns left to do that. Then we'll get our claim in here as quickly as possible. We've got our connections made here. We're fully connected up. And so we really don't have much to spend our influence on currently. We don't have any civics. I always like check civics. If I got excess influence, do I have any civics I can do? No, not really. So we could just move on up. And upon move up, when we start picking our new builds, I'll show you exactly what we're going to do to make sure we can move up as quickly as possible. Why are we moving up so quickly? Because if we go into our tech tree, we have 1 turn, military architecture, and then we have reached the cutoff point for the era. So all of our science is going to start to get burned per turn. It does not stack. It does not get saved up. It just goes into nothingness. So after this turn, all of the science we're making will be doing nothing for us. And so we want to move up as quickly as possible from there. But we don't have all of our scriptoriums in. So let's end turn, and I will demonstrate for you the build for a turn, move down in the queue, strat, which is what we're going to do here. And we're going to do this pretty extensively. Again, this game turned out a little bit interesting because we're fully connected already. Being fully connected in the medieval era, I feel like is pretty rare. You're not going to have the influence to do that in a normal game, to fully connect all of your cities to all of their territories. Again, we had a plethora of influence from our Estate culture ability, which we used pretty extensively. Uh-oh, we got trade routes getting destroyed. Changes in reputation. A treaty ended. Another ended treaty. People are ending treaties with us pretty rapidly. 7 trade routes have been blocked. Wow, somebody is waging war somewhere. Oh, Corral actually just lost population. Okay, that's something to check on. So Corral lost a pop because they are struggling on food. Oh, we're building a farmer's quarter as we speak. But we have more scriptoriums to put in. We have quite a bit of gold saved up. I'm wondering if we could buy out something that gets us food. That's 6 food. That's not... That is not the greatest amount of food. We could just buy out this farmer's quarter, but it is very expensive. That is very expensive. We could grab the fishery because it might get us access to whale fishing if we have that researched. Let's check. Okay, so for 1,000, no, so it didn't. We don't have access to the whale fishing yet, which would get us a bunch of food. So it was worth a shot, and we'll keep growing the city a little bit on this. Once this farmer's quarter is in, should get us a decent amount. We're going to have to finish this farmer's quarter here, unfortunately, before we start going into our scriptoriums. That's going to cost us. I wonder if we should just pay the money. I think I'm just going to pay the money for this because it's going to be worth it so we can move up 2 turns faster. It's a lot of gold, but you know what? We're making quite a bit of gold now per turn, so I'm not overly concerned with this. So let's plop that in.
15 farmers' quarters. Not sure if I should congratulate you.
That jumped our food
burp
up.
and rub my belly.
Gosh. That jumped our food up a monstrous amount. How much was that worth? We just go from like 2 food to 92 food? I don't know what the math on that is, but that must have been one heck of a farmer's quarter. Doesn't look like it's that great. I have no idea what just happened right there. That's really interesting. Okay, so now we don't actually want to put turns into Notre Dame. We want to go into our scriptoriums. We have several of these to put in, so we're going to place a scriptorium. That's a nice little location right there. In fact, that's perfect. And they're not... Are we connect? Yeah, that's part of our territory as well. So what we can do... because this is a very useless tile as well. So I'd love to put one here and one here across the border. Oh, except I think we already put... That's a scriptorium right there. Okay, but that's fine because we could put another one here. So I think we're going to go here. Okay, so we'll put that in. We're going to build that for 1 turn. We're going to move it up in the queue. We're going to build that for a turn, and we'll switch it out at the end of next turn and put a different one in. So that is going to be the plan with those. This guy's all alone, but that's fine. He can start heading over to this land. I think we want to get him here so we can cross effectively. So he's going to just hold there. We'll collect that on his way across. These guys are going to make their way across. We've got our armies on the way. I checked the armies of the Free Peoples, and they are a level back from us currently. So we don't have to worry about them having better units than us. So we have, I think, enough armies to be able to do what we want to do in the New World. Okay. Lulaban also finished. They actually finished a scriptorium, so we have more scriptoriums to put in. So we're going to put this scriptorium in next. And where are we going to put it? We have several scriptoriums to put down. That is going to be a market quarter, so I don't particularly want it there. We'd love to get it out here somewhere, but we can't currently. Oh man, actually right here would be really nice too. Okay. Maybe we are going to put the scriptorium here. And then build out and around. Could we buy in a district in this city? Oh, you know what? That's not our territory. That's why. We could... How much does it cost to buy a hamlet? 7,000? I was going to say, we could put a hamlet over here and optimize this. I don't think we're going to get to optimize this. So, am I just going to put it right on the edge there? I think we are. I think we're just going to put it here. That's... I know it should be a market quarter. Technically, that's a really nice like DOC warehouse placement too, but where else would we... I guess that's... What is that? Getting us extra food just for being adjacent to the... That's not bad. Oh, that's the... In fact, that's the same. We're just losing production if we place it right there. That's not bad. I still think we could have a bunch of research quarters here. I'm just going to do it here. I'm just going to do it there. It's fine. Because we're going to just put some research quarters in around this copper mine anyway, and so it'll end up benefiting at least from the one over here. It might not be the best placement, but... okay, let's check the rest of our cities really quick, because I want to... Okay, do they have a turn into this? Okay, perfect. So we have turns into this scriptorium, and we can build another one. So we're going to quickly grab this. We are going to... Yeah, that's probably fine for that place. I am okay with that. All right. So let's stick the scriptorium up here. We're going to put that in, and then we're going to move it up in the queue. So we don't want to remove this one from the queue. The key is, do not remove this one from the queue, ever. Ever. Because once we move up, if you remove it from the queue, you never can build it again. But if it's in your queue, you can finish the construction on it at any time. But it has to stay in the queue. So we have a build into this. As long as you have a build into it, you have to have a turn's worth of build into the scriptorium or into your emblematic district, and then it will not go away. If you don't have a turn's worth into it, you can't just queue them up if they don't have turns into them. That won't work. But if they have a turn into them, they will stay in your queue even after you move up. So that's a strategy. If you haven't built in all your emblematic districts, this is a good strategy to utilize to get those in. So we're going to put this one in. We'll one turn this one. And then honestly, we're just going to put another one in. And we're going to put another one in until we have one turn into all of them. And that will signal us to be able to move up.
With 30 research quarters, I think we can safely say that the Library of Alexandria has been avenged.
Nice. Icarus has moved up from the Achaemenid Persians to the Mississippians. An interesting choice. A ransack has happened there. That probably is going to... Stealth activity again detected, which is new. And 4 more trade routes blocked. So that's slightly problematic. I want to take a look at our stars really quick. We are looking for a few more aesthete stars. We might get... I don't think we're going to get any more. Aesthete stars are tough to come by. Especially when we're not focusing this right now, because we have way too much from our... specifically from our ability as well. So we've got all of our science stars. We are 6 away from the military. I don't think we're going to get another merchant star. We're not focusing that. And so really... we've got all the stars we need, so it's just the scriptoriums holding us back from moving up. All we need is the scriptoriums, and then we are going to move up. So, here's what we're going to do. Batu, that's in already. So we're going to pick another scriptorium up. And where are we gonna put that scriptorium? Any of these locations probably works. There's some kind of bad land in this-ish direction. I could see us putting one right here, although that is prime opportunity to surround that with... Ooh, let's see. Don't mind sticking it here. Although that is also a harbor, is it not? Or is it not? Is that not a harbor? Oh, maybe it isn't. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and plop it here, actually, because we could fill in a couple around it and make that pretty nice, whereas this one would be adjacent to a Cluthon, which we really want to put farmers' quarters around, technically. If you want to know my logic for that. Alright, so we're going to take that one, right? Don't forget, we're going to move it up so we can check right down here in the bottom. So if you look at the very, I'm pointing to the screen, real helpful for you. Right down at the bottom, at the very bottom of the listing of the scriptorium, you can see construction time. If that bar has moved, if there's progress on that bar down there, in other words, there's production put into the total, then you're good to go, and it won't leave your queue when you move up. So you can see both of these, we have turns into those builds, and then we're going to put turns into this next one. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So we're actually going to go through each of our cities and check on that. So Corral's going to do the same thing. See, we're down to 50 food already because population is just exploding here. We are going to grab another scriptorium, and we're going to put another scriptorium in. Let's see, are we putting it off of that? I think so. I think the one up here probably goes here because then we can start getting some more in this-ish direction. Optimally, you'd want to put them in here, but let's go here with this one. And we're going to make sure we put that in on the queue, right? Because it automatically goes to the back, so you have to make sure you move it in to the queue. Okay, so Corral is doing their thing. Watu is already doing theirs. Lulaban, we have turns into the scriptorium, so we're going to grab our next one. And that's minus quite a bit of food, which is unfortunate. But I'm not seeing another great location to place theirs. I mean, down here would be where we would want it, right? But that is not. That is, in fact, right in here would be a great spot for a bunch of research quarters. But that's fine. We're not gonna be able to do that. So I think we'll just stick it. I think we are just gonna stick it here. I know it's gonna burn food and production, but we'll want those scriptoriums in if at all possible. So just go ahead and do that again. We'll move up and in. Lulaban has done their thing. Fatu, everything over there. Let us check on Nemosos, which actually needs to start a build. So we're going to start and one turn in a build over here. Those aren't bad. Our next best location. I guess we don't have many locations left. So let's go off-river. I like the idea of going off-river. Again, optimally. Oh my gosh. Right here. Holy smokes. Right, there's strategic. Right here. We need to hamlet. We need to hamlet like here. And then just put research quarters around over here. That is a wild spot. This research quarter right here is going to get a triple benefit once we get it in. Woo! Alright. That's fine. We're going to place that right there. Alright, so that scriptorium will go in. And that is all of our cities except Parseus. But Parseus actually... Oh, wait. They actually don't have theirs in. So we can, because we just attached. We can throw in, and that's actually kind of perfect. We might as well put it here because then we could put other things there as well, or we could put it here. Burns 5. Here we could get adjacency though. Although technically you could just triple market quarter this, which would be really nice. Actually, I like the idea of triple market quartering that. That gets rid of a lot of production, but let's put it up here. I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about it. All right, that one doesn't need to be moved at all, probably. Okay, let's get to our armies. Is this burn successful? Did we get the burn in? The burn is in. And so now we very quickly and immediately want to place our outposts. So that is a 14-13 right where they're at. There is river down here. No, that's not. Just kidding. There's river up here, though. But we can always just move the outpost. So I think what we're going to do... I kind of don't mind this spot. This 719 gets us a ton of production and gets us on river, which is pretty intense. 14-13 is very tempting. 26 is also tempting. But this gets us on river, which is probably and arguably even more tempting to me. Even like here, this 916. 916, but on river is pretty dang beneficial. Actually, we can put that on in one turn. We can just walk over there and put that on. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it down over here on river. I know the land is not so great, but let's just do it. We're going to get this claim in right away. Okay. Claim is in. And we automatically get access to this salt because that was already built in. Unfortunately, Icarus's people burnt down this sage repository. Why would you do that? I do not know. The AI is confusing sometimes. It's not like an enemy of theirs owned it. All right, this guy is ready to go this way, I believe.
Blades in the water.
Oh my gosh. Oh, 80, 70. Those are so nice. All right. Get these guys moving. Do the same pattern with everybody. These guys are going to hit here. Make sure we don't take any damage. And then we got our boat up at the north. That's just kind of... He's fiddling along, you know? He needs to get back into allied territory so we can upgrade him and heal him, actually. So we might just water him all the way over here. Water him. Wow. All right, let's move into our next turn. I know we have a ton of gold. I'm kind of saving that for anything that we might need to throw in from a stability standpoint or from the standpoint of getting our scriptoriums into the best possible location. So let's keep moving along. Ah, Pyramids of Giza have been lost. Plosive? The Byzantines have destroyed the Pyramids of Giza. Burnt them straight down out of Sarge's territory. Wow. Can you I don't think you can rebuild those. They're like gone, right? Wow. A bold strategy. Burning down a cultural wonder. I love that you can do that kind of stuff in this game. We got a lot of grievances. That's classic. Our religion, I think, is spreading quite well. 5 more trade routes destroyed, probably because of this war. And then we got our armies fixed. Grievance has been forgiven. Verification changes. I should probably customize what pops up down here. I like to read through them because honestly, it just keeps me apprised of kind of the state of what's happening in the game. Got more trade routes being blocked. All right. Let's get people moving. These guys can actually join together. Because this guy is a militite as well. So we can actually jump this guy into this army. One turn until that goes in, and then we can do our buys, get our harbor, and then connect it. We're connecting it to Parisius, because we're going to connect it. These guys can actually head, I think, because no one's going to declare war on us that I'm aware of. So I think these guys can just go up and help with the fight up north. All right, this guy is not going to die. We're going to get him over here. Everyone is able to just cross over, which is pretty handy. So again, we're going to take this guy. Well, can we get him across? No, we can't. So we're going to take him here.
At the catch.
I have to take everybody here and then across, because otherwise they will die. Okay. I do not want them to die. Or we have to wait for 3-masted ship, which actually we're not far from 3-masted ship. We could think about that. There is a... Probably grab that. Which is what we want. Okay, and then one of our cities has finished. They built, they actually turned out their scriptorium. Nice. So I think because of the food situation here and that this city is well off the ground, I think we should just put turns from this city into Notre Dame to get that built, because we want to be able to claim Machu Picchu as quickly as possible when we get up to the next era. So let's start building Notre Dame from this city. That's a good choice there. And then we need to check all of our cities for our 1 turns. So we got turns into this scriptorium. We're going to grab our next scriptorium site. It's either going to be right here, which actually here is the spot. That's a suck spot because it takes up a beautiful river tile. Technically speaking, I would love to put farmer's quarter on that. Oh, we have enough money to do that? Might. I buy out a farmer's quarter. Oh, they're so expensive. All right. I'm not going to waste the time. I'm going to put it right here. I'd love to have put, instead have put this here or here and taken advantage of the food on river there, but, and the Kothan adjacency, but that's okay. We'll just run with it. It's still adjacent to a strategic later in the game. And then again, we want to move it in so we get that 1 turn in. And we have to 1 turn 1 more in Nemoso. So we need 1 more turn to be able to do that and get that finished off. We're going to do the same thing here. We have another one of these to put in. Those look like decent spots. We want to put it somewhere we're going to have, like, pretty... Actually, anywhere closer to here is a good idea. So let's put it... We'll work our way with research quarters out in this direction, probably. And again, we're going to move it in because we're trying to 1 turn them. I'm going to move this off. That's probably going to finish before we even get to it, to be honest. All right, so Corel's done their thing. Watu is going to do their... Oh, nope. Watu has got all of theirs in. So these, we have none left to build. You can see down here, we have none left to build. So we can actually just continue building scriptoriums and finish these 3 off. So Watu is good to go. We need one more turn in one of our cities. I think Corel needs one more turn as well. And this is the last one in this territory as well. So we want to just put this optimally... Probably here. Let's take a quick peek. Yeah, I think right... Oh, wait, is that... That, again, like, I'd love to put a... anyway, they're all of them are going to be adjacent to this... to that beautiful... What is that? It's a tree. That's the tree thing. I thought I remembered the name of that. Have I been calling those Kothons? Those are not Kothons, if I've been saying that. Let's actually... I actually want to... It's, the Nematod! Oh my gosh, I think I've been calling those Kothons during this entire episode so far. They're not Kothons, they're Nematons. Kothons are in the water. I don't know why that was in my head, but there we go. All right, so that's in. Oh, but we need to move it in. Boom, so we got the turn in. All right, and so Lulaban will be done after this next turn. Lulaban will be done. Watu's done. Karal and Nemosos need one more turn of play. So we got to go this turn and the next, and then we move up. I think we can get there by the end of the episode. All right, I've gained enough patrons to sign a new treaty with an independent people. Okay, excellent. Let's go check that out. Madness is spreading. Our religion is spreading. Another trade route blocked, but resources are being sold. Ah. The turn after Plosive burned down the pyramids of Giza, a peace has been made between 100 Games and Plosive. Very interesting. Lulaban has... Oh, no.
Death from starvation. It seems that these are the times that try a people's dietary habits.
True. It's because we're just building scriptoriums. This is why... Oh, yeah. This is why we saved our gold for the most part, because we can fix this problem quite readily. 58? Probably should have looked at those before. We need to actually go through with our gold since we're making enough of it, and probably... Yeah, just do that everywhere. Okay, we don't need to do any more switches here. Get those done. Watu is done. They're also... Let's check. 46. Well, let's put in... let's put in extra bonuses to keep growth high in these cities. Because I'm not... we're going to start building hamlets in all of these cities after these scriptoriums are in. We're going to go into hamlet building because we need to expand our population cap in most of these cities. And then I believe we need to do one more... That's a lovely tile. Except that it's adjacent to multiple farmers' quarters. It's in the middle of the desert. So technically I'd love to get it up here again because it would be adjacent, but we don't have... well, I guess we could put a farmer's quarter right here and then build it here. It's too expensive. Too expensive. We're just going to put it... Not optimized, but it's fine. And we'll put one turn into it. So we need one more turn because we get one more turn to get these builds in. These guys are done. Oh, perfect. Oh, did we already switch that? Okay, Nemosos is done. They can't build anymore. Perfect. Oh, but we do want to put one turn into this one. So let's quickly do this. We're going to put in our harbor. Chat, harbor first. So harbor first because when you put in those count as buildings, and the more buildings you have in a territory, the more expensive districts become. And so the cost will actually go up on the harbor if you put these in. The quarters, the artisan quarters, though, never change in cost. At least that's what I've observed and discussed with several folks. So always put the harbor down first, and then your other things. So we're gonna go harbor first. 18 food is very tempting. 16 food, and we could get access to better market quarters. But that also connects this kind of nicely. I kind of like when you connect to, I don't know, it looks nice. I'm gonna put it right here. We're gonna buy that harbor in, and then we'll immediately buy in our other components here. And now we'll be able to connect this. So Parseus is going to attach that. Beautiful. So now Parseus is a legitimately sized city. Now it's a 3-territory city. It's still pretty small, but it's much better now. And then it gives us the ability to put another scriptorium in. And so we will do so. Again, you'd love to put it in over here, but we cannot do that. So, man, that burns a good tile no matter what we do. Definitely want that to be a market quarter, so I'm not going to burn that tile. I think we're just going to have to set it on a tile that is not optimal. We're not going to surround this with anything in this particular place, so I think we just stick it right here. It's just going to be alone. It's going to be just the scriptorium all to itself. We're not going to surround it with anything because there's no good spots to do that. We could do that if we put it over here, but I'm just going to stick it. So let's move that in. We'll get a turn into that, so we'll be able to move up after this next turn. So on turn 100, conveniently, we'll be able to move up into the next era. All right, these guys are headed in the direction that we want them to. Let's get them on land as long as possible, because they are horses. And they do move quite quickly on land. Technically go fight these guys just for military stars, but we need to get 6 kills to get that last military star. I don't think we have the ability to get far enough anywhere to be able to. I'm going to get these guys up on land. If these guys crossed, we're going to do a 2-turn cross. These guys are going to go here. They'll do another cross as well. This is a swordsman. What is this swordsman doing? Oh, he's not going to be able to cross for sure. That's right. He claimed this island and then started maneuvering his way over. Let's get him over here. That's going to be his easiest crossing point. But he's probably not going to, he's not going to get anywhere until we get 3-masted ships, probably. All right. There was something over here, right? We see that from there. It is. Right, so let's get him to there, probably. And then we'll pop out, grab that, and then we'll go get this guy healed and upgraded in our territory. This army still has movement. I want to put them close to that. Just in case we want to grab that military star on the next turn before we move up. I just don't think it's viable. We'll move them there anyway. Okay. Again, we have some gold left over. I'm kind of saving that for if any of our cities end up getting into trouble, or if we need to buy in some infrastructures. We probably should spend it on infrastructures to keep our cities growing, so we'll have to look at that probably at the beginning of the next episode. All right, turn 100 of our Let's Play series. Madness is spreading. Resources are being resold. We should probably check all of our trade agreements here at some point. All of our scriptoriums are now in. We shouldn't have to do any more of the one-turning, and that is a good sign for us. So let's get this guy up into the territory that... Oh, wait, we never checked on this treaty. All right, we're pouring money and influence into this place, just pouring it in. We have 30 patronage with them currently, so that gets us access to this level of stuff. We get a trading charter with them, gain access to tradable resources for this independent people, as built extractors. Do they have any? They do have horses and porcelain, so we'd get access to those if we signed that treaty. We do a mercenary charter, which gives us hiring ability, or we do this science collaboration, which would not have been good until about now because all of our science has been getting burnt. Look, plus 115 science is wonderful. I will pay gladly to have that science collaboration. It looks like you can only do 1 treaty from each section, so you cannot enact multiple of these. That's why the client state, I think, is so valuable, because the client state gets you access to kind of multiple of these as well. And so that's, I think, highly beneficial, the client state thing. Looks like it gets you access to more than just one thing from each of the treaty lines. At least that's how I understand it. So if we were to enact this, it would de-enact this, is my assumption. I don't want to try. Well, I guess we could try it. We have enough influence to try it. Technically. All right, let's get these guys out in their direction. This swordsman is going to continue make his way along the coast. I think. Oh, we can actually grab this and then be able to get back on the next turn. So we can actually do this now. So we will grab this. Also burn some fog there. Oh, perfect. It's wreck. And then on the next turn, this guy will just make his way back to here. Perfect. Just get that free path. All right, we could run this attack. That is... We do have some nice high ground for this attack. Kind of. They're going to come back up here, though. Is that just horsemen? Oh, they do have some archers that would kind of be painful because we'd have to get through their units first. I don't know. Let's run the attack. Let's go for some stars. We could also do this. That doesn't actually help us. It actually hinders us, I think. This gets us... No. Maybe that would... What if we came all the way? Okay, we can't do that. That gets us the ability to place more of our units. That limits us a great deal. So let's do this, because it gets us more placement. Alright, so we got all of our units on. Now it's just a matter of getting to their archers in some way, shape, or form. Now, these guys should be able to run around this side and actually hit the archers. But I think I actually want to grab this guy, put him over here as well, so we can run them to the back side. That's the benefit of having horses, is they can haul, which is pretty nice. Okay, they have actually abandoned this area, so we're going to take... Actually, this guy should be able to move fastest. That, unfortunately, takes their flag. I wonder how many kills we can get even if we take their flag here. We don't actually want their flag. Oh, this cliff is gonna... Okay, so we have to hit... Okay, that's fine. It's a kill. So. That shows us where we need to be. This guy can't because he's got to get on river. This guy's on river, though. Can he make it? Nice. Okay, so we can eliminate one of the archers from getting hit. Go ahead and take that guy out. And no one else can make it. We're just gonna... I'm gonna go take their flag. It doesn't particularly matter in this case. We're gonna get this guy on river, and we'll get this guy on river. Because we're gonna get the... Oh, wait, their city reinforced this fight. Oh, I was not paying attention at all. Because of the way we attacked them, their city got involved in the fight. Okay, this just got very interesting. I was not paying any attention at all. Well, we're gonna win the fight because we took their flag. Alright, let's get up here. We're just gonna kill the back units and then try to... Because these guys are probably actually decent units. At least better than the ones they had, right? I actually want to run this attack straight across. Oh, those are knights. That's why that's so painful.
Let's go! Get ready, attack!
Okay. We took out the initial army. And now we're in a small amount of... Oh! They have spearmen! Oh gosh, it's a debacle! We made a terrible error! Oh my gosh, this is classic Manish Moose play. When I'm playing, when I do anything with war, I pay no attention and I just get my butt kicked. Oh gosh. Alright, well, that was two of our best units. Dead. Dead to some spearmen. Oh, they're halberdiers. Okay, that's pretty potent. Those are 41 attack halberdiers. Oh, feels bad. Okay. Let's see, we could take the flag back and force them to fight us there, but we kind of just want to go snag high ground somewhere. Oh. Yeah, these guys are going to die, I think. How do we optimize this? They have knights and halberdiers, and the halberdiers are just going to run through our people. Our only option, I think, is to try to take their flag and hold it. That's gonna hurt. I think we're losing all of our units in this fight. I just didn't pay any attention to the fact that when I moved the attack to being in a different spot, it brought their city into the attack. Foolish! Always check your attacks. Alright, well, we won. We won, and we got a military star. Oh, good lord. We lost all but one of our army. We got the military star, and we won the fight. When you run an attack, make sure you don't involve the city behind you. Oh well. Such is life, apparently. Last rites. The Holy City of Kral is famous across the world. Every year, thousands of followers of the faith come to the city in their old age, hoping that if they die, they will be able to partake in the funeral rites near to the Obelisk of the Gods. This practice has been condoned for many years, but the space is becoming limited and tensions between locals and outsiders grows more heated with every passing season. How should the incoming faithful be treated? Oh, I love Humankind. This kind of stuff, so good. All right, we can refuse. Gets us celebrating on Corral. Not really what we want. We can get prosperous around Corral by welcoming them in, which is definitely actually kind of helpful. Or we can limit them and get some faith. I like the idea of limiting, but I think we're just going to welcome them. We'll take the money because that's, I think, going to get us the best bonuses. I don't mind moving back towards this side of the ideological axis. We don't really need to be on that side, so let's just go with that. And then we can move up, right? We've got turns in all of our cities. Let's do a quick check.
You stand head and shoulders above the others. Congratulations on your fame, fortune, and place in the annals of history.
Turns are in. Turns are in. We got turns in on everything. It's back. We'll make sure we have turns in here. Turns. None of those are going to go away. And Lulabon has all of their scriptoriums. So, scriptoriums are all in. We will move up. So, the last thing we do in this episode is going to be our move up. So, let's walk through our different options. We can obviously transcend. We're not going to do that. The Inca, if we had lots of mountains, would be super fantastic. I don't think we have enough mountains to make this worthwhile, so we're not going to go with the Inca. But if you're on mountains, woo, the Inca are great. Terrace farms, super cool, but we're not there. The Maasai are fantastic if you want food. Minus 25 population consumption in all cities. Very nice. The Nkang is a pretty good a district as well. So if you want to put that in, it's got the districts. It's got +5 food exploitation, +5 food per adjacent exploitation. So I believe they're free place as well. I believe the Nkangs are free place, so you can put them kind of anywhere. So you can go take advantage of some farmers spots. So Nkang is definitely a worthwhile exploitation as well. So the Maasai can be really good if you want food. We could go Dutch. +1 money per population in all cities, which is enormous, by the way. You can boom your economy with the Dutch like none other. The only other one that's probably like this is the Siamese in the next era, which is crazy. So we'll move up to the early modern with somebody probably not the Dutch. I've played a lot of the Dutch. VOC warehouses, incredibly potent, especially if you can get them out on a little peninsula and put a couple of different harbors around them from the harbor civs. Very potent. The flute is also really nice because the flute is actually not a military vessel. It's a transport ship that has really high attack, which is really nice. So that's something to think about as well. The Haudenosaunee are very, very good. +1 food on exploitation is huge. That can get coupled with other things to make exploitations really awesome. The Three Sisters plantations are going to get you food like crazy. I don't think we're having a food problem currently, so I don't actually know if we want to pick the Haudenosaunee, but they're very, very, very potent. Very great choice. The Hoseon is going to populate our science incredibly. So +3 science on tiles producing science is big. The Seiwan is going to get you more exploitations. We could think about going with the science civ, science culture, because we are currently high on science, and we actually weren't a science culture. We were in a steep culture with the Franks, but putting down a research quarter. So the Hoseon are a possibility. The Ming are not my favorite. They have this tea house that replaces the commons quarter. I don't need influence at this point in the game. And enacting civics is not great. +10 influence per number of cities. Like, if you need influence, choose the Ming. It's gonna get you stuff. But otherwise, I don't know. The Muggles are very good. +2 industry per number of territories in your sphere of influence. My sphere of influence is pretty big in this game, so this would be actually a pretty good choice for us if we wanted to go more of the builder route. This would probably be a very good choice for us in this particular game. The Jama Masjid, also very good. +3 industry per worker, and so we have workers in there. Also going to get us some good stuff. So this is not bad if you want to switch into more of a building orientation, which is something we might do. The Ottomans, if you're going to war or expansion, the Ottomans are pretty decent. They have a religious district, the Sultan Kami, +1 faith per district. And until religion becomes a really potent thing in this game, which it's not, this is not going to be great, I don't think. Again, it's more of an influence game. It's going to get you a lot of influence. I'm not really heavy on that. But -50 heavy weapon cost and +3 combat strength on heavy weapons. Pretty decent if you're playing a war game. So you can go with that too. Janissaries are obviously pretty potent military unit too. The Poles, again, they're a military. So the Barbican is actually not terrible because it counts as a garrison and a commons quarter, and so that's not bad as far as these types of emblematic districts go. So that's something. They have winged hussars, which are just look cool. So that's something to think about. And then obviously you've got plus stability on district is pretty nice. So if you're having stability problems, the poles could help as well. Spanish, so you get +3 combat strength on unsupplied units, which is interesting. So if you're unsupplied out in enemy territory, +3 combat strength, which is not bad if you're fighting. They get conquistadors, and then the Cathedral Gattaca, +1 faith per pop. That's a lot of faith. +1 faith per pop is a ton of faith. So it counts as religious and common squatter. Anything that counts as a common squatter, I put down on my tier of good districts. So I don't really care for that particular emblematic district. Probably looks beautiful in game though. The Edo-Japanese are another option for us. +1 influence per pop on city or outpost, which is huge. Again, if you're looking for influence, that's going to help you a ton. Plus, they also get the estate ability. So if you want to keep using that further into the game, you could do the Edo-Japanese. The Terra is interesting because it's just going to basically get you faith and influence next to mountains. So much like the Inca, except the Inca get you food, which is better. So I'm not keen on the Terra, but again, if you wanted more influence, this would be the way to go. The Venetians are our final option. +1 money per number of trade routes, +2 money per naval trade route, +1 influence per number of trade routes. That's actually pretty insane, to be honest. This is big money. Much like the Dutch, you're gonna rake in the dough if you choose the Venetians. Because you have, like I've shown before, you have a lot of trade routes on each of your cities. This is going to get you a lot of money, especially if you're running naval trade routes. Plus, influence on trade routes as well. This is actually one of the more potent combinations of traits that you can have, and that's a lot of traits. I'm tempted to pick the Venetians just because I honestly think that this is very powerful. You also get access to a market quarter, the Botteg di Artisti, +4 influence, +2 money, and then adjacent districts get more influence and +1 money on tiles producing money in that territory. Plus, it gets you that market quarter ability. So really, if we're gonna go with Venetians are really nice. If you're gonna go with a money base, you could also go with the Dutch. Obviously, the Dutch is gonna get you a lot of money as well. I actually think this is good. I think the Venetians trait is better. The VOC warehouse, I think, is one of the best money-based quarters in the game, like districts in the game. But I do think that the Venetians would be fun to play at some point. So what we're trying to choose from, I think, we're looking at the Venetians, or we're looking at the Muggles, I think. I'm more tempted to go with the Muggles at this point. I think production would be really helpful for us. We've got a bunch of stuff queued up, and we want to try to build a bunch of things. I think the Muggles would be a really good choice for us right now, because I think we're lacking in production a little bit. So I think that's the direction that I'm going to go. So let's go ahead and move up as the Muggles and get our production up a little bit, because I think our production is kind of low right now. We haven't put in very many makers quarters either, so this will get us makers quarters in most of our cities, in fact all of our cities, and we'll be able to get our production up really high moving into the next eras. Why do we want our production to be high? Because our win condition in this game is probably going to be building all of the space race stuff, and you need high production to do that. So I think the Muggles are a very good choice for us here. Let's adopt that, and that will end our episode for today.
Geography, cartography, algebra, optics, astronomy. It's a time of discovery and exploration. But discoveries are not made solely by traders and adventurers. Those who explore with ships and caravans would go in circles without those who explore with pens and parchment. So, did you choose them for their impressive constructions?
Yes.
I bet it was the elephants with cannons.
No. Those are nice though. All right. Celebrating on the cities. End of a foreign war, so another war over. Icarus and Nox. No, Icarus and Burley, it looked like, making peace. Interesting. All right. And we will pick it up right here. So at the start of a turn, rather than at the end of a turn. Fascinating, I know. But that is where we will leave it. We got our scriptoriums being built. We have moved into the early modern era as the Muggles. It's going to be exciting to get our production up. We're going to get to build a lot of things and very quickly, because we're going to get those makers quarters in and be able to expand that. Thank you all for watching the episode. If you liked the content, be sure you're subscribed to the channel for more Humankind content on the channel. They come out with videos on Sunday afternoons or Sunday mornings, Sundays generally. for the Let's Play series. This will continue again next Sunday with this game. Excited to get into the early modern era and explore all that the Muggles have to offer for us in getting our industry up and running as well. If you like the content, hit that thumbs up button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.